A Handful of Dates by Taib Sali. In here, a young boy admires his kind grandfather who owns much of their village's land. But when he learns how his grandfather mistreated a neighbor to gain wealth, the boy feels deep sadness and disappointment. From a sociological perspective or a sociology critic, the story of A Handful of Dates presents another avenue through which social values are instilled and passed on, this time through innocent eyes of a child narrator. Right from the start, it is pride at the richness and prosperity of family, but gradually, this pride gave way to discomfort and disillusionment when he finally realizes that his grandfather is the real culprit to Masood's loss of all his money. This thus is the much needed moral awakening, and it can be even be treated as the criticism of the capitalist ethos in the community where they get to amass it at the cost of others' dignity and livelihood. Furthermore, the story vividly portrays the unforgiving economic systems within society and the self-perpetuating elite class thriving on the vulnerabilities of the poor. Moreover, it best captures the tug-of-war between tradition and change. The old world through the grandfather who clings to traditional riches that was defined by owning land to mark superiority and influence. Then, all these are put to a question by the young narrator, which would mean a paradigm shift in values. Additionally, in the story, Masood is the one who is quiet with dignity and he just wanted to be connected with the land, as if it almost spiritual bonding with nature. In conclusion, A Handful of Dates is a tremendous attack on social inequalities as well as the moral implications of a rich existence in the Sudanese countryside. As it preserves power in the hands of a few, disposes of the weak at the end and bears the weight of the system which prioritizes wealth above all else. Looking back from the short story of Taib Sali, I noticed that the boy narrates his relationship with his grandfather and the life they share in this sentimental story. He discovered how the world is greedy and unjust when he observes his grandfather exploiting their neighbor. Masood unfolds it all. This moment brings in a new consciousness of the boy, wherein he begins to question the morals of the folks once he held so dearly. Furthermore, the story goes on to point out how in human relationships, fairness, empathy, and compassion need to exist because without a poise of justice, the power and riches would breed selfishness and exploitation. Moreover, it is truly painful to know when the boy painfully realizes that his grandfather is not all he thought him to be. In this part, the maturity is brought into the way of full consideration and reality. As I conclude, this short story brings forth social injustice and exploitation to make us question the society that we belong to and the systems that govern the power and the inequalities.